a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Small Talk. My guest today is a business owner. The business is called Third Degree Burn, and he designs custom tables and pyrography, as in pyro. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Johnson. Welcome to the show, Shane.
Thanks so much. I appreciate having the opportunity to talk with you.
That's really great. You know, I love that pyrography. I've never heard that term before. So it's pretty cool. So when did you start your business?
You know what? I've only been doing this for about a year, actually. A little over a year. And it initially it wasn't going to be a business. It was a bit of a hobby, and I'm a teacher, actually. And it was kind of therapeutic to, start doing it. And to be honest, I don't even really remember how I got into it. I experimented with, over COVID, there was obviously not a lot to do. So I was doing photography, and I was kind of learning how, the kind of like the ins and outs of how to do that. And I did some painting, and then it kind of spiraled about a year ago. I think I was walking through like Home Depot or something like that, and I saw like a wood burning kit, and I was like, oh, and I tried that out, and I instantly kind of really liked it because it's a pretty forgiving medium. When you paint, I'm not the most I'm not the most delicate person or accurate or precise, so it leaves a lot of room if you make mistakes to kind of fix it. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then as I kind of kept on going, I was kind of like, hey, maybe I could do, some markets and do some work. And I kind of just went from there.
Very good. Yeah. So tell me, what exactly is pyrography?
So pyrography is, essentially it's wood burning. So there are obviously countless types of wood. And they all react differently to heat. So you have, I kind of compare it to like if you've ever gotten a tattoo, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing an outline, you're going to use a certain type of tip, and you're going to usually run it a little bit hotter. And then once you start getting into shading and stuff like that, you change the tips. You'll turn the temperature down, and you'll kind of shade with that. And that's essentially it. Yeah. So
do some woods work better than others?
Yeah, like when I started using pine, and it was just, I'm not, like I said, I've only been doing it for a year, and by no means am I, well versed in wood and how they work and with certain kind of ideas. And so I started using pine, and it worked out well. Especially when you're doing stuff with stencils, pine's quite soft. So when you're doing your stencils, it kind of helps a little bit because you can kind of indent it when you do it. And then I ended up kind of shifting to cedar because I found with cedar, the heat doesn't bleed into the wood. So if you want to make like a really precise, like fine line, you can do it better with cedar than you could with pine. Right. And then, initially I literally was indenting the wood with a pencil, and I ended up I just grew, I think you should. Yeah. And I started using graphite paper. So I would use graphite paper so I could started using harder wood. So there was actually a trace on some, I don't trace everything, but some stuff I do. That's kind of, that's what I know so far. I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more. So,
yeah, well, it sounds like fun, really. Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's like I said, I started doing it it's therapeutic, like my days at work, especially last year, were quite tough. And so to come home and, put on a record, and I'm a big I love vinyl, so I just put on a record and have a glass of wine and just kind of, draw. And it was, that's kind of where it started.
So have you created a little workshop for yourself?
I have, and you're looking at it right now. It's my entire apartment. Yeah. It's just it's filled with lumber and sawdust and tools and animals, and yeah, I love it. It's good.
Hey, listen, I understand you're in my Zoom room, which should be my dining room. So there you go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just want to touch for a second. Like you said, you're a teacher. Where do you teach?
I teach in Abbotsford.
Okay,
So,
and what do you teach?
So last year I was an LSS teacher. So that's a learning support service teacher.
Okay.
So you have a group of kids. In my case, it was grade 7, and it's pretty much just it's a group of kids that have a variety of different learning barriers. And so you help facilitate the curriculum for them. You give them social and emotional support when they need it, depending on the situation. There's, as you can imagine, a wide variety of challenges that a lot of kids face, and so you're kind of there to help them out. And this year I'm not in that position anymore. I'll be teaching a grade 8 class. So
It's still in Abbotsford.
Still in Abbotsford, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, so getting back to, sorry, I just had to touch on that. But getting back to your woodburning, do you have any photos of your work?
All the stuff I have, yeah, all of it is on my Instagram page. Is probably like my probably the best place to kind of see everything that I do. And I kind of, yeah, so it's on I believe my handle is 3rd Degree Burn Pyro.
Right.
And that's on Instagram. And yeah, like I've kind of, over the last couple of months, I've kind of expanded. Like I had a client who wanted me to make him a crib board, and he wanted a crib board, but he wanted kind of designs on it. So I was sure. And then I was like, all right, well, I've never made a crib board before. So I kind of figured that out. So that's on there. And then I've made a couple tables as well, which I'm kind of really getting into right now. And it's, they're not perfect because I'm not a trained or a certified woodworker, but I kind of just learn as I go. And I'm kind of, initially it was just kind of drawings, but now I'm kind of expanding almost into woodwork right now. And like, I've been making, I've actually got a client who I'm making a bunch of like large kind of charcuterie plates for. So, and there's not even pyrography on it. Like, it's just like woodworking. So, I'm just kind of trying to learn what I can and kind of push myself. So.
Right. I like when you said that, like, they're not perfect. That's something that appeals to a lot of people, I think. If you want perfection, you're going to go to a furniture store or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So when somebody is making something custom made, and you're going to get whatever beauty it ends up being. And I think that is the beauty of the item that you make. Yeah.
And I'm quite transparent with whoever I meet, and they want me to do a piece for them. And I just, I don't use, there's a lot of, like I met you at a market.
Yes.
And there was a couple other vendors there that had like laser wood kind of burnt stuff. And that stuff's great. And, it serves its purpose. But that being said, it's a laser. You essentially, you set up the parameters that you want, and essentially you press a button.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's nothing against, people that, use that method. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that I do and where I get the enjoyment out of it is everything I do is all freehand. And you're going to make mistakes, but I think that's
perfect. Yeah. Well, it's what I do. Like before COVID, my show was different, but it's just me. I don't edit because I'm not good at it. So what people see is what you get. And I think that appeals to people. And if it doesn't, you're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it's authentic, right? If you make a mistake, or if you
yeah,
thing you shouldn't have, or whatever.
Yeah, all kinds of things happen. I've had a guest whose cat jumped up on his lap, or somebody just recently, somebody came into the room and he's talked to that person, and he says to me, "You're going to edit this out?" And I said, "No, I don't edit. So it is what it is, unless you want to do it all over again, But and I don't think people mind that at all.
No, I think, especially nowadays, where I think everything's so buffered and everything's so like manicured, and I think that it really lacks a certain level of like authenticity that people, I think, more now than ever kind of crave. So that's why when I made a table it's on my Instagram page too, but I made a table, and like the first thing I said, they loved it, but the first thing I think I said to them was like, all right, so here are the following mistakes. And they were like, oh, you know what? We love it. And like, I said that to them when they first kind of said, hey, this is what we want. And I'm like, all right, as long as you're cool with the fact that, it's going to be like 93% good. Right. Like there's going to be some problems, but
no, that's cool. Like I'm an amateur painter, and what my new term now is perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, that's, right? I think on my website, I'm pretty sure I say something like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's the beauty of something that's authentic. It just comes from you, right?
Yeah.
Or wherever it comes from, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's really good. So now you were at the market when I saw you, right?
Yeah, that was out in Chilliwack, I believe.
Yeah, yes, it was. So are you going to be doing more markets coming up?
I think I want to say one or two more that I've booked so far. And then just again, as a teacher, September is a pretty busy month for me.
Right, yeah.
So honestly, just to keep my sanity, even like I need those 2 days off just to kind of collect myself and then get ready for the following week. And I think so I think I have one or two more left in September. And then pretty much after October, it's Christmas. And I don't have anything planned, but I've had a lot of people over the summer that have been like, hey, I'm going to get in touch with you probably like early November. So hopefully, I get some people reaching out to me, and I get some requests to do some pretty cool stuff. So
yeah. Do you like the request?
Yeah. It's, depending on what it is, I find it challenging, and again, it pushes me, and so far everything I've done for clients that have kind of requested custom pieces, they've been happy with. And at the same time, if it's something that I don't think I can do, like I like to push myself, but I also like to be realistic with what my skill set is, and which is, at the end of the day, I've been doing it for a year, and I'm not going to pretend I'm spectacular at something that I'm not. So I'll let them know what my capacity to help them out is. And but I do enjoy custom requests because it does kind of push you. So
yeah, very good. Well, I think we're going to end it there. But just stay on camera, because I'm just going to say goodbye to the audience. So you'll be listening to Shane Johnson. I'm going to share his Instagram info so that you can look up and see his work, and get a hold of him if you like what he does, and I'm sure you would. And with Christmas coming up, it's a perfect time to get something that's handmade. I think a lot of people like that. So anyway, take care, everybody. Thanks for watching the show, and I hope you continue to do so. And in the meantime, peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, sun's rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.